Hi everyone, I'm Maddie and this is Great Quest for Knowledge. I got to fly a plane last weekend. Now, this was a really fun experience and I just wanted to share with you kind of what it was like. Because this is our Great Quest for Knowledge, I think you should always go out and learn anything you're interested in. I tried out an introductory flight lesson. My instructor did the takeoff and the landing. Most of the time I was actually so in awe of this entire experience. To be able to see the mountains, it was an absolutely gorgeous view, and it was a little disorienting to take this place I know so well in this valley and be put into the air in a position where it's a little bit harder to recognize everything. My instructor commented that he knows the terrain a little bit better up in the air than he does when he's trying to drive it. My instructor said when we were about to start, as he pulls open the hangar doors, that I'm just going to pull her out, as he literally grabs it by the nose and pulls it out. This was a tiny plane. It was very lightweight. This plane was a two-seater, so we were almost shoulder to shoulder. I mean, I'm an average size woman, so I had enough wiggle room that it was just fine. It wasn't an uncomfortable kind of thing being right next to somebody I didn't know very well. So it was a pretty cozy airplane. It was a little bit of a tight squeeze to get into it. In fact, as I was trying to climb into the airplane, there was a really tiny step that was probably only about 2 inches wide, maybe 3 inches long. And this tiny step is just enough for you to kind of tiptoe in on one foot. And I'm doing this while you already have to duck under the wing and jump in with one leg. So it was a little tricky, made a little bit more difficult because I have a broken hand and a sprained finger. But it was just fine. It was still a really good experience. It was really easy to kind of do. So Trevor had the controls for the majority of the time. I was able to take control for a little bit as I just wanted to experience how much drag could I feel, how much resistance could I feel as I was making turns and moving the aircraft. I was actually pretty surprised. It was really smooth. It moved like butter. It was really easy. Now he brought it back into the valley, moving through a little bit of inversion, and that was a little bit choppy, a little bit bumpy, but even that wasn't bad. I've been in a lot of commercial airlines that were a lot more rough. Now, this would be entirely dependent upon the day, it would be dependent on the weather. A lot of factors I'm sure can affect that. Trevor said that planes want to be in the air. They want to fly. Now, he even demonstrated this by letting go for a moment and just letting it coast. I really wish I was able to get my camera in the aircraft and mount it so that I could get a video. However, just because of how tight that space was, that wasn't really an option. There wasn't any sort of gimbal or mount that I could have used in there. And even if I were to try to hold my hand out just to try to get some video, it would have been in both of our field of vision and neither one of us would have been able to really see what we were doing. And that was a little bit more important to be able to fly the aircraft. However, I was able to get some close body shots as I turned so that I could get some photos of the things around us. Now, being able to see what kind of steps go into flying an aircraft was really interesting. There was a lot of switches, a lot of dials, a lot of things to keep your eye on, And it was actually really interesting to try to monitor those myself as we were moving. Overall, the experience was a little overwhelming, at least when we were doing the takeoff, at least when we were getting in the air. Things were only overwhelming for a moment, since when you get into the air at a good level, you can actually maintain where you're at. And what I mean by that is you don't need to keep fidgeting with everything. Once you're in the air, you don't need to fidget with your elevation, your altitude. I mean, when you're in the air and you're going, you don't have to keep adjusting anything. It seems to be only when you are going down or back up. That's all I have for now, guys. Join me next time on this great quest for knowledge. Let me know if there's anything you want to see. I would love to try more experiences. I would love to learn more things. This is also going to be a travel blog. So if there's any place that you want to go, if there's any place you want me to review, let me know. See you all next time on this great quest for knowledge.